Study session for June 17th. Again, no pledge. No pledge. No. Well, it's not on the agenda, unless, we'll do pledge. All right. I follow orders, so. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. All right. Again, I'll just thank everyone for coming tonight. For those that are online, I appreciate your patience and understanding as we still are doing this virtually, some live. So just appreciate your patience and understanding as we get through this COVID experience. With that, Margaret, we'll do roll call, please.
Mr. Burleson?
He said he wouldn't be able to make it. He notified us he wouldn't be able to make it today.
Thank you. Ms. Cardona?
Here.
Mr. Gill?
Here.
Mr. Gillette?
Here.
Ms. Little?
Here.
Ms. Wooland?
Here.
Mr. Kennedy?
I'm here.
Mr. Eberly?
Here.
Mr. Kraus?
Here.
Attorney Decker?
Here.
And Mr. Panzik?
He is in the crowd. Do we want to arrange so you can have access to a microphone, Paul? Councilman? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. We'll turn it over to new and old business on the agenda. I understand there has been some changes to item A, the Casboni petitioner.
Yes, and we have Mr. Michael Tiller here this evening with Schilling Development to bring us up to speed on what those changes are. Michael?
I'm Michael Tiller with Schilling Development, representing petitioner Anthony Casboni. We recently just put under contract a 35-acre parcel that Mr. Casboni has. So we're not going to go into too much detail, but in the near future, we are going to look to rezone this parcel to R1, and we'll present you with a plan. But if you have any questions for right now, answer those two questions.
So on that map, can you give us an out, is it that, can you just,
Yeah, I'll highlight it. It's
Just
this
so I
parcel
understand.
here that lights up in just a second. Well, let's try it again. There. Can't light it up without that getting in the way.
okay.
You might. Yeah, let's see. There we go. Thanks, John. Yeah, you might recall that Mr. Casboni had wanted to rezone this, just this frontage here, from open space to R1. But as it turns out, the entire 35 acres will be subject to a rezoning request and plating request. As Michael said, from open space to R1 for the entire
correct.
parcel.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea, there's wetlands and a zone on the property, so they already know that. That's going to be something they'll have to deal with in its development. For Attorney Decker, I'm planning on placing this matter on the July 1st agenda so that and ask the petitioner, Anthony Casboni, to deliver us a written letter asking that we remove this from the agenda. If we don't get that, I would assume that what we'd want to do is deny the current petition. I'd look for your guidance as to what the Plan Commission should do if we don't get a request to withdraw this.
Yeah, and without being evasive, I think I would say that we would wait until that meeting before any recommendation or decision would be made
Right,
at that time. So
Yeah, it'll be on the agenda as we have it now, which is a request to rezone the property. And I would hope to get the letter from Mr. Casboni asking that we withdraw this petition from the agenda. But if we don't get that, I would anticipate a motion by the Plan Commission that night.
I believe it could take action. It's been properly advertised, and so I believe the Plan Commission could take action that night if it's not withdrawn.
Okay.
So we would open it up to a public hearing? 'Cause I don't think we've had a public hearing on
We
that.
have not. That's right. It's been continued.
That is correct.
All right, any questions from the board? Rick, I know we've come in a situation, are you guys, I would say Schilling Development, the legal owners of this now, or is this still under Casboni's name? Because as a petitioner, from my understanding, they either have to be the owner or have power of attorney.
Yeah, before the next public meeting, it would be under our name.
Okay, and then at that July 1st meeting, is that when you would, we would just give notice to the public that you'll be having a public hearing in our first meeting in August,
To be determined.
to be determined? Okay,
Actually, I think the next time the Schilling Development folks will be here will be your study session next month.
Correct.
okay,
And then you would announce the public hearing at your, probably at that point. I think they're gonna try for the August
Yeah.
meeting for public hearing for rezoning,
Yes.
not plating, just rezoning at that time.
so we would notify, on July 1st is our next meeting?
Yes.
We would then we would make a public record that public hearing would be August, our first August meeting, because they don't have to request it, we just tell
Right.
people
You
we're
just
doing it.
announce it.
Okay. Just so you're aware, I don't know, when this has come up in our study session previously, there has been, myself and other board members, discussion regarding access on White Oak, trying to limit driveways, just so that you guys are aware that has been discussed.
Absolutely.
And just, I know it's only zoning right now, but as you look to plat, just consider connectivity.
Yeah,
in
no,
that
it
as
would be,
well.
we would be redesigning the
Okay.
parcel itself.
I just don't want any surprises.
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Any other comments before the board, questions, concerns? All right, we will see you in a couple weeks.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, Three Springs, Unit 3, petitioner, Mr. Reddick. How are you, sir?
Good evening. I trust you have a drawing to put up,
I do.
Rick?
I'll bring that up.
Does anybody like a paper copy? I have those as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug.
That'd be good. John, you good?
I got it.
All right. So, obviously, Doug Reddick with DVG, representing Three Springs Development. Dave Berica was unable to attend tonight, but seeing as it's pretty straightforward, I told him I think I can handle it. We obviously were here a couple weeks ago to request the extension. That didn't go the way we were hoping for, but Dave still wants to build the first phase. So what I'm showing tonight is what we're going to call Three Springs Phase 3, Block 1, which is the north portion of the subdivision. We've said it before that we want to revisit the south portion of the subdivision, primarily due to the pipeline easements and the proximity of the houses to those pipeline easements. But we do want to build Block 1 as we presented it before and as how I presented it here tonight. Basically, we just removed all the lots on the south side of the pipeline easements, and I renumbered the lots so Block 1 was numbered consecutively. We have a mix of R1, R2, and R3, which is consistent with all of Three Springs, actually. So here we're looking at 13 R1 lots, R1 sized lots, 7 R2 sized lots, and 3 R3 sized lots. Didn't really make any other changes. The plan is, if this is favorable to the Plan Commission, we'll come in for a primary plat almost immediately because the engineering is already done. I already have a sanitary sewer permit for this phase. So I just wanted to present it to you and look for any discussion on the item.
Doug, when you say almost immediately, that your first opportunity is actually going to be the August meeting.
Correct.
Because of
The timing.
notification deadlines.
Right. I'm aware of that.
So the public hearing August 1st,
Yes,
or first meeting in August?
first meeting in August, yeah.
Okay. Questions, comments from the boards? Board, sorry.
Rick, did we say that the public hearing on this would be August 1st, you said?
I'm sorry, first meeting in August. I don't know the exact date.
I think it's
Yolanda.
actually the 6th maybe, but the first Wednesday in August.
Okay.
So Yolanda, July 1st, which is our first Monday in July, we would give notice of a public hearing in the first meeting in August.
And we don't need to be present for that, is that correct?
You
Yeah.
don't need to be present.
August 5th actually is your meeting date.
Okay.
And again, to reiterate, none of these lots have pipeline easements on them. We are not platting any portion of any pipeline easements.
And this is just planning, a plat discussion. It is not a zoning discussion.
Correct. It's
Correct.
already zoned.
Zoning's
It's already zoned, I just want.
And the zoning of every lot is shown on the drawing. If you look, it tells you exactly which lots are zoned R1, R2, and R3.
And-
The square footages are on there. We got several lake lots. It's a nice plan. And then this will get Dave moving for this year, and then we can talk about what we want to do on the south side.
And a great point, because unfortunately, I'm getting older and I'm having a hard time seeing. So can you walk me slowly through, where are the R3? Are those 21, 22, and 23?
That is correct.
Those are the R3, and that was from the original plan as well, correct?
That hasn't changed at all.
Okay, and then R1 is lots 1
1
through
through
7.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 13 is actually an R2. And then we go back to R1 for lot 14, and then the balance, 15 through 20, are all R2.
15 and 20 are R2.
Well, on the east side there, those are all R2.
Okay.
What are the plans in terms of, I know you said that this is Three Springs Phase 3, I guess, Section 1.
Block one.
I don't remember Block 1, I'm sorry, that's right. So what are the plans in terms of the later blocks, in terms of the R3s?
We're going to present that at a later date. Dave needs to get some lots online, and that's why we're pursuing it like this. We'll come in for a possible rezone. It may not even be this year, maybe later this year, whatever he decides. So you'll have an opportunity we're going to start fresh on the south side of the project and revisit the whole thing. And our intention is to put one street in with lots on one side. I'm sorry, we had a street with lots on both sides in the previous approval, but we're going to change that to lots on one side. And in order to try to help Dave out, ask for a few more duplex lots over there.
And right now, with the plan that is being presented, there's how many R3s? There's 3, so a total of 6?
Well, three lots that are zoned R3, which would be 6 units, if you want to look at it that way.
Sure. Mhm.
So there's 23 lots in this phase.
And 6 of them are the R3s.
3 of them.
3 of them.
13 R1, 7
Of them,
R2.
there's 2 units.
There's 2 units, yes.
Yeah, but it depends on how you want to look at it, Yolanda.
Right, there's 6 different homes, 6 different duplexes per se.
Not in this phase.
There are three,
Okay, I
there
guess
are
I'm
three
confused.
three duplex lots, which results in 6
Dwelling
housing units on those 3
Perfect.
lots. Yes.
Okay, right.
And the plan is to put more on the south side. We already have zoning for 3 more duplex lots on the south side, and he would like to request additional R3 lots. But that's not what we're talking
At a-
about now, yeah.
Right, at a later time, okay.
This is engineering-wise, this is exactly what we presented last year, and we already have engineering approval on it. We just have to go through the motions, have Ken revisit it, and then modify basically just the engineering drawings to not show the other lots. And that's one reason why we can do it kind of quickly, Rick, because we're pretty well
Right.
done.
Rick, questions for you. As they show it now, and potential rezoning to the southern end of the pipeline, I'm just thinking hypothetical what ifs, and I hate doing that, but we, in our subdivision control ordinance, we talk about connectivity to undeveloped property. So if we move forward, this plating does not have that well, it does, I guess, the two, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the intention is to loop this around.
Yeah, understand, I'm just, okay. And you do have the two potential lots heading to the south, or the roadways,
right.
streets to the south, yes, so you do meet,
And the plan is to take Spring Lake Road even through the next phase and into the property to the south, which is Schilling-owned property.
okay. Questions, comments from the board for Doug? Okay. Doug, if not, we'll make notification to the general public, or the public on July 1st meeting, that public hearing August 5th.
August 5th, and I have you on the July 15th study session.
Yep.
We'll plan on that. Thank you very much.
Okay. And then finally, we have item number C, Sublime Estates, a replat, or I'm sorry, seeking a plat of 9 R1 lot subdivision on the north side of 93rd Avenue.
Good evening. Again, Doug Reddick, DVG, representing Sublime Development. Mike Granissi is present tonight if you have any questions for the owner, developer. Some of you may recall seeing this a few years ago, when this is just south of Rose Garden. So I think in our early presentation of Rose Garden, this has always been kind of a separate parcel, but we did kind of show this, actually the same land plan that we're showing tonight. Just a small little cul-de-sac, 9 R1 size lots, zoning is in place. Mike reached out to me recently, said he'd like to get this one engineered and approved and hopefully build it early next year. Nothing too unusual here. They're big lots. There's existing homes, to the south along 93rd Avenue, so we had to kind of work around what's there. There's a couple homes right on the curve there in 93rd that we have to work around. There's one home on the property that sits in the vicinity of lots 7, 8, and 9. That home will get removed to make way for the additional lots there. We're going to have these two outlots at the entrance, Outlot A and Outlot B. Our entrance lines up with Claremont Drive. Those lots are too small to build on, so there'll be landscape features. We will be talking to Ken, the town engineer, on stormwater detention. And he and I talked about this again a few years ago. The town owns a large retention pond in Claremont, just south of this, just west of Claremont Drive. We'd love to be able to work with the town and use that pond for our stormwater detention for just the roadway portion of this project. Of course, we got to go through the exercise on that, but that's why you don't see a detention basin, because we believe the amount of storage needed is pretty small, and it's a very large pond. We'd be talking about a fraction of an inch of storage in that large basin. So as long as that basin is in good shape, which we need to investigate that, we would like to pursue that. We have wetlands, we have floodplain to the north. That Outlot C is wetland area, floodplain area. We had an early delineation done on the wetlands. We may have to revisit that just to tidy it up and make sure it's current. Floodplain is what floodplain is. So, but all that'll be in, if necessary, we'll have some conservation easements to cover those areas.
But the floodplain, Doug, did not impact any of the building pads
Not
themselves.
the building sites, but it's in the rear yard areas. And again, floodplain is, a little bit different, well, a lot different than floodway, where we are allowed to work in the floodplain. None of the homes are going to be needing flood insurance. No concern about getting 2 foot above base flood elevation because of the high ground. It's just be a natural feature in the backyards.
Yeah.
Questions, comments from the board for Doug?
Is there a plan to put in a turning lane off of 93rd
Like a decel lane to turn into the project?
and a center lane?
We'll have to, we haven't got into the engineering yet. We will certainly look at that if it's necessary. I think Claremont has decel lanes. think.
It's got a, yes, yeah, decel and acceleration lane, I believe.
Yeah. It's the traffic counts are going to be very low for such a small little cul-de-sac. And if need be, we have a traffic engineer on staff now at DVG, so we could have her look at that and give you a report.
I know the first time we met on this a few years ago, we did, you and I think Mike and Steve Kill and I, we did talk about a decel lane at least, but you don't have that much frontage to work with, you know, but.
That's a really tough spot right there,
Yeah.
coming right out of the curb. I'm very concerned about that. And then the lot 9, is that entrance going to be right on 93rd?
Yeah, and that's exactly where the existing driveway is for the existing home. So it'll be virtually in the same spot. And when you're there, you're right, you could see, you have good visibility both ways. It's the only place to really have a driveway for that lot. So the new driveway will be basically in the same location as the existing driveway.
Talking, or what Donna is mentioning, Doug, has the petitioner looked at moving the cul-de-sac to a point where Lot 9 could be accessed from the street or the entryway that you're proposing? Has it been at least considered?
It has not at this time. We haven't looked at that.
And I know that, I believe 93rd is Continental, I brought it up, we were bringing it up now on White Oak. How I read our thoroughfare plan, no direct access for residential, even when we're redeveloping.
It's discouraged, yes.
Yeah.
But if you look at that chart below it, it says no private drives. And so I know it's conflicting how I read it, and I'm not an attorney and I will never claim to be one. But I'm just, as we're redeveloping these homes that are directly on here, I think we need to take serious consideration, if none has been taken already, at least to look at it to see if we can access, or to remove that access on Lot 9. And then,
This is the driveway Doug was referring to that comes out
Right.
there now. There's a couple, obviously, there's a couple of them. And you said,
Well, there's several.
yeah, you said some of these homes are being removed to make way for the,
Just the one that sits,
The big
Just this
yellow
one.
Right?
just
yeah,
this one?
yes. And so the two to the south remain, and all
Okay.
the ones to the east will remain. So it's a
Yeah.
very unusual shaped piece of property, so. Yeah, just that one, and again, the new driveway we would propose is virtually in the same spot.
Yeah, okay.
and then another question, Doug, to the east of the subdivision,
Yes.
behind the north of those homes that are currently along 93rd, is that owned by your, do you represent that owner or here?
Here, this property?
Yeah, because, again, we're looking at connectivity, isn't our subdivision ordinance
Well,
control
that is
having?
part of Rose Garden.
Yeah.
We'll take,
Because when we were talking about Willow Lane coming south to connect up to 92nd. I
Right.
don't know where that is currently, but
well,
just trying to get
that's a
some,
phase of Rose Garden, and that will be
Different phase.
addressed, yeah.
but there'd be no,
Two- Two different projects. Yeah, no
Okay.
connectivity because of the wetlands,
Yeah, nothing through here, right?
okay,
right? And then, as we talked about before, is the Rose Garden issue with the really bad soil. That connection is very, very difficult.
okay. But that connectivity from this street would not be required in our subdivision control ordinance?
To
To connect that
connectivity
to the property to the east, north of those homes?
through here, John? Through
I
that?
know, that's all wet?
It's all
Oh,
wet.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that,
gotcha.
The wetlands are driving the whole layout, honestly.
right.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Right.
Any other questions from the board? Yolanda? I don't know, Nancy?
No, none here.
Awesome. All right.
What's your intended schedule, Doug? Did you, next study session, what do you?
Yeah, I think we'll come back, we'll start getting going on engineering here pretty quick, and, yeah, probably the next study session.
So you anticipate the earliest public hearing September?
Yes.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. finally, Rick, am I turning over the last bullet point to you?
Just to mention that we're going to get started on our plans to update the zoning ordinance now that we've done the work on the subdivision control ordinance. So I'll be distributing, I've had a bullet point list on the zoning ordinance for probably 3 years now in my computer, and I'm anxious to make some changes to that document to make it read better than it does. So I'll be distributing that. I anticipate a couple, 2, 3 study sessions on the zoning ordinance before trying to get it to a public hearing. So
Okay.
I'll get you the information I've got.
Okay. We'll do what we did for the subdivision control ordinance. You'll give us a tutorial, like a little 101
Yeah.
on the changes. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So I'll put this on the July study session agenda.
Okay. Rick, any comments? Adam, Councilman Pantic, any comments? Okay. Board members, any questions, concerns? All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening.